calmness in mug form. What? How y'all doing? If you play online games on Wi-Fi, you're a dick. Okay? If you play online games through power line adapters, you are almost as much of a dick. But if you're playing on Wi-Fi, you are definitely 110% no excuse a complete and utter dick. You're a dick and you're degrading the experience for absolutely everyone because Wi-Fi sucks. Might be great for you, but not for everyone else. Wi-Fi sucks. Stop doing it. Look, no, but Skaz, my console doesn't have an Ethernet connection to wire it into the thing. Go get a USB dongle for it. The Nintendo Switch is the example I'm using there. If you're crazy enough to have a Nintendo Switch, a lot of people on this planet have a Nintendo Switch, and you're playing that over Wi-Fi, you're a dick. If you are sat comfortably on your sofa playing the Nintendo Switch over Wi-Fi, you are a dick, and you are ruining the online experience for everyone, you dick. Right. That's not actually where I wanted to go with this today, but hardcore, you are a dick. Your children are dicks. Just dicks. You're all dicks. You're all terrible, terrible excuses for human beings because you might be using something that isn't a hardwired connection from your router. You're a dick. You make online gaming suck. You're a dick. You're going round and round in circles with this one, guys. Yeah, because you're a dick. Like, I don't care if you're 7 years old, right? If you have managed to convince your parents to buy you Grand Theft Auto Online, I don't care if the only other way you have to connect to Tinterwebs is over the Wi-Fi's. You're a dick. Convince them to get you a decent fucking router and a hardwired connection. Get it done. If you can convince them the A, convince them to the B. Get it done. Because Wi-Fi sucks. Okay. Because Skuz, your children probably play on Wi-Fi. Nah, mate. Connections upstairs to the bedrooms with a wire, mate. Wire. Although, admittedly, the worst kind of wire. The other one, power line adapter. So yes, I get it. I just said, if you use one or two, you're a dick. I could just literally drill holes in the ceiling, but no, I haven't. So, I understand there are reasons as to why people don't go wired, and there are reasons why people don't go power line. I don't know why they don't, and I understand there are reasons why you go Wi-Fi, but I don't understand why we go Wi-Fi for everything, because Wi-Fi is literally terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Because it's not consistent. That's the complaint with playing online games through Wi-Fi. It's just not consistent. Every now and then, because of the way Wi-Fi works, there'll be some random issue with the connection, and rather than it taking from like a consistent amount of time, let's say, I don't know, just pretend, I'm just pulling these numbers out of my ass for simplicity's sake. Let's say it goes, I don't know, half a second, 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 1 second, half a second, half a second, half a second. That time, when it says 1 second, is going to be the time that you or some other little bitch starts teleporting around a map, or games go a bit freaky because netcode, and I hate you for it because you're ruining it. Now, powerline adapters are a little bit better in that regard. I've heard they're worse. I've not really done... I've heard they're worse. I've heard they're worse than wired connections. I haven't really done the hardcore digging on that one, but I can tell you for a fact, Wi-Fi sucks. Powerline adapters suck too, but today, that's why I'm going on this rant, for a completely different reason. Wi-Fi in this house is... You can be sat right... By the way, you can be sat right next door to your Wi-Fi router. That issue will still stand. Every now and then, there's just going to be an occasion where there's a blip where it takes longer for data to get from point A to point B, and that just causes the whole thing to have a hissy and have to play catch-up somehow. It's not great. You can be... Like, literally, my router is there. Just no. Okay? There's a PC in the room just across from me, like there, barely gets Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is terrible. In this house specifically, Wi-Fi is terrible, which is why I opt in for another method other than Wi-Fi, be it a power line adapter or a hardwire. Most of the devices in this house are hardwired, but a few of them are on power lines. And well, I needed to get Tinterwebs outside. Don't ask why, it doesn't matter, but there's some bits going on in the near future where I'm going to need Wi-Fi somewhere else. And, I found an old power line adapter. I was like, this will be good. I don't normally use this one because it broadcasts Wi-Fi too, and that tends to cause no end of trouble. But what I'll do is I'll put this one in the garage, and jobs are good, right? So I had to pair the power line plug. So power line adapters, if anyone doesn't know, is you plug them into your wall socket, right? So you plug one in next to your router. You plug a cable from your router into the power line plug, and then that pushes your internets into the power lines, into the walls of your house, the magic circuits of your house, right? And as long as you are on the same circuit in a house, you've got Tinterwebs. If on the other end you plug another power line plug with a cable into the device that you want it to go to, right? So it acts like a big old LAN, like a big old set of cables just going around your house. It's gravy. It's fantastic. I remember talking to my mate about this years and years and years ago when I was a wee lad, when it was a new thing, and it was fantastic. It sounded like magic technology, and now it's everywhere. But because I then went and found this other power line adapter from another kit that we'd used a long time ago, I've got a mishmash of a couple of different kits where I've kind of gone, right, we need gigabit, we don't need gigabit, we need this, we need that, doesn't matter, they're all the same brand, and they're all compatible with each other, but fuck me. Before anyone says, why didn't you use the app for this? I don't install the apps for these kinds of things. There's a pair button on a power line adapter, and you press that, and you fucking leg it to the next place, and you hit the power line adapter button, and you run to the next one, and you hit the button, and you do that to all the devices on the network, and they magically pair, and network happens, right? No, not in my house today. So I press the button, I run into the kitchen, I hit the button, yeah. Then it disconnects every other machine in the house. Okay, cool. Go back into the first room, hit the button, run back into the kitchen, go to the pair button, run into the other room, jab that one, run up the stairs, jab that one. They've not all paired. Oh, no, I forgot about that machine in this room. So I run back down the stairs, off I go, jab the button, run back into the kitchen, hit the button, run back up the stairs, hit the button in the room that I forgot, run back into the other room, and then hit that button. I'm like, wait, did I get all of them? Did they work? Look at the network and think, no, which one hasn't paired now? Oh, run back down the stairs, hit the button, run back into the kitchen, hit that button, into the middle room, into the upstairs, and then you go into the front one there, and then the back room, and I'm running around the house just over and over and over again trying to get these things to pair, and would they fucking pair, would they bollocks, and it was doing my sweet in. And I've had a pretty rough day, but my God, I had one workout I was not expecting to have, then I had another workout I weren't expecting to have, and then there was internet workouts, and internet workouts lick balls. And so I was like, right, well, what if I hit this button, and I hit that button, I'll run to that one, I'll hit that button. And I must have spent probably about half an hour, just running around, making sure I was pressing these buttons to get these things to work. But my God, when these things work, gravy. When they don't, though, oh God, please. Power line adapters suck when for some reason there's a problem with the power in your house. I mean, because that's what they need. That's how it's pushed around the house. But when they work, it's great. When they don't, and you have to start pairing things, it's fucking terrible. And realistically, what you want to do is just get like a big extension lead and plug them all in and hit the pairing buttons on the thing. But I didn't have one, so I was running around the house. And some of them were behind cabinets, and some of them were up stuck somewhere, and some of them were, I don't know, being used to hold up entire countries' economies or something. I don't know, but God, it was a nightmare. Oh, I am so glad that the other power... We used to have a power line adapter behind my telly just there. Yeah, that one just had to have been disconnected from the network, hardcore. Because I ain't going over there and doing that. Nah, mate. Big TV, big cabinet. No. Scare says, no internet for you, son. But... yeah, I would give you an example of what a power line adapter is, but I can't without disconnecting my network and without everyone going, what the f are you doing, mate? And I'm like, sorry. Technically, actually, you could probably actually link power lines to a neighbour's house. You know, just as a thought, if you ever wanted to share tinterwebs. And like, rather than doing that stupid Wi-Fi thing where all of a sudden you go to the toilet and you ain't got Wi-Fi and you can't go to Honda or Kawasaki.com to look at your porn, you could get a power line adapter in your house, power line adapter in their house. Now you're on different circuits. You could go, actually, no, that probably wouldn't work because you're not on the same circuit. No, you could do it maybe, because if you run a cable from your LAN over the fence or whatever into their power line adapter, so you've got a hard connection from your LAN to theirs, and then they pair everything else on their network, then they could in theory get a switch and then have an output, an Ethernet switch, and then daisy chain one of the cables from that, lob that over their neighbour's fence, and then plug in more power line adapters, and then the master one goes into that. Yeah. Be a nightmare, but I just randomly thought about that. Oh, this reminds me of this time before Wi-Fi was like really like everywhere, and a mate of mine, me and my mate Alpha, he used to live at back of my house. I say at back of my house, it was quite a distance away from my house, a couple gardens away, right? But you could see his house from the back garden of my house. The odd thing is, his PC was located downstairs, back room of his house. My computer was located front room, top of my house, right? So I'd have had to have run a network cable from, because this is what we wanted to do, run a network cable from my machine upstairs, right? My machine, this is before, like, you know, people all had switches and stuff. You'd have like a little USB Stingray style modem thingy, right? And you plug that in, and then your Ethernet port would be free, right? You just grab your cable, plug it in, and we wanted to have a cable long enough that we could lob it over the fence, do a bit of fence hopping, get to his house, right? And then hook into his computer so that we could network up, so that we could work over a LAN. Them were the days, weren't they? Them were the days. These days you can just, you know, set up a sync folder on Dropbox or Nextcloud or, you know, Google Drive, or just, you know, do things online. You know. Just in case anyone's curious, I'm talking about the dial-up days here. They were glorious days. Absolutely fantastic days. And we all thought we'd get rich and famous working on our video game engine that just... it was pretty good for the time. And then someone else outdid us, sadly. But, you know, yeah. And having to set up timers because his machine was slower than mine. And this is like back in the Pentium 1 kind of 486 days too. So, you know, it's such a great time to be alive and just hanging out on IRC and AOL and just, you know, and using IC20. Was it IC24? Was it IC24, the ISP? And I could only connect from 8 until midnight. This is going off on a completely different thing, but yeah, please don't use Wi-Fi if you're going to game online. You're a savage if you do, or a child. And if you're a child, get off my internet. Just get off. Go and play with blocks in the corner, man. That's totally not what children do, to be fair. But, you know, just go, look, Mum, Dad, see this wire? Do a thing to make this connect to the thing so I can actually play a game, because Skaz is getting angry because I keep pinging around the map like a dick. Or my character keeps telling and because the netcode in XYZ game sucks balls, and now it feels like you're playing Street Fighter through, like, I don't know, jelly or something. It's done. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Set up that magic wire or power line adapters, please just at least get off Wi-Fi. Please get off Wi-Fi. Power line adapters can be a pain in the ass, as I've mentioned today. By the way, I finally got them all to pair. Took a little while. At one point, I didn't even realise that 3 of the machines had somehow managed to pair up. I was like, oh, amazing! So now I'm going to set up the thing. I've left it in the kitchen, so I can set up the thing in the kitchen to go outside, so that there'll be Wi-Fi outside. The thing outside isn't going to be gaming, and then it's got some Ethernet ports on the bottom of that I'll then hook up into a switch that will then allow me to branch off and extend network to plug in other. Oh, I wonder if I could do some jiggery pokery to get that arcade machine to connect to the internet. That would be fantastic. Could you imagine that? Sorting out like like a Street Fighter Third Strike machine that I'll put like another machine in the middle of it, and then have them network, have like a virtual LAN going on, so that we could play like Third Strike online. Or Capcom vs SNK. No, not Capcom vs SNK. SNK vs Capcom Chaos. Play that online. That would be fucking rad. Should do that. Sorry, I'm completely into the realms of. But yeah. Power line cardio. Wasn't fun. Power lines and Wi-Fi suck until they don't, or until you really need them. But you really don't need Wi-Fi. I stand by that. You don't need Wi-Fi, so get rid of it. But I'm now going to head off. Get off Wi-Fi. You make crazy old people like me get angry. And honestly, trust me, when I was younger, you didn't have Wi-Fi. Though admittedly, we probably had higher ping times anyway. But just trust me, get off Wi-Fi, get a wired connection, and watch how much better online play is when you're wired directly into your internet connection. When you're wired directly into that router, or as near as matters, watch how much better it gets. Hope you well. Stop ruining my fun. And I'll see you all, with a bit of luck, in the next one. 7-year-olds playing Grand Theft Auto. Pfft, scrubs. Can't get a job.